It's midday in Freetown and a warm welcome to this edition of the Podium, which is coming to you live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation with me, Asmiba. Don't forget the number you can send your messages to 077851945. We start with our first issue. The National Minerals Agency has just renewed the exploration license of AMR Gold, and the company is all set to go into small-scale mining. Well, AMR Gold is owned by nationals from the United Kingdom and have invested millions of dollars in Sierra Leone and Sandavoko Chiefdoms, all in Bombali district. So in the studio is Colin Harris. He is the AMR Gold director. Welcome to the program, Mr. Harris.
Thank you very much indeed for inviting me to talk to you. It's been a long haul, but we've been here since 2011, working very hard. We've spent over $12 million here so far. We started off with 3 large exploration licenses, totaling somewhere around 750 square kilometers. Working very closely with the NMA. We have now come to the end of that period, and the NMA, as you noted, has just extended our licenses, which is legal under law, for another 3 years. And as part of the work that we did in the first 4 years, we have identified about 5 or 6 projects that can develop initially into small-scale mining projects. Now, for us, we feel this is important. I mean, we're not in the same league as the gentleman you just spoke to. We're talking, hundreds of millions and billions of dollars right there. For us, having small projects, small-scale mining projects out in various parts of the country are important growth poles, because it's not only small-scale mining that we do, it's also cooperative artisanal mining that we do. And you might have seen, if you go out into the countryside where artisanal miners have been working, the ground is hugely disturbed, especially in the swamps. So that ground is useless now for agriculture.
But Mr. By also embarking on artisanal mining, are you not squeezing the artisanal miners out of business?
Well, that's a good question. First of all, we have relinquished over 300 square kilometers of our original ground. So the artisanal miners can work there under the regulations declared by the NMA. So that's gone out to any artisanal mining who applies to the law. But you say we're squeezing them out, but I've just mentioned that we are starting to develop cooperative artisanal mining initiatives. So each initiative will employ something like 60 people. Already we have demarcated 4 areas for this. They're all basically in the process of being legalized, and we will start artisanal mining by the middle of this month. And each group of people will be 50 or 60 people. So with 4 of those, we're looking at somewhere in the order of 300 employment initiatives. And the important thing about this is that the people will be working together. They will be mining efficiently. We will teach them efficient mining practices, efficient recovery practices, and very, very importantly, the ground will be rehabilitated so that then the landowners can grow crops, make fish farms, and it leads to food security.
How many minerals are you working on?
At the moment, we've got a portfolio of projects, initially coltan with gold and tin, but we also have diamond projects.
Well, thank you very much. He is Colin Harris, the AMR Gold director. The program is a Podium, coming to you from Freetown. Send your text message to the number 077851945. 077851945. That's the number you can send your text. Back with the program Podium, which is coming to you from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation with me, Asmiba. Very soon we'll read out the first text messages. You too can be part of it by inboxing us on 077851945. Now, Mr. Harris, let's look at, now there is a vogue, mining and also other businesses. Many often we have to talk about corporate social responsibilities, and some people say it has been bloated. What's your corporate social responsibility to your communities of operation?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, if you, or anybody else for that matter, care to look at the record that AMR Gold have of developing community programs, education, schools, health clinics, agricultural programs, we have done, just as I said, in the Sierra Leone area, over 17 projects. And bridge building, road construction, all of these, education programs. We are very mindful. I will tell you that I come from a background of very large mining companies like Rio Tinto, and in those companies, social and community responsibility is extremely important. A lot of people say they're soft issues. It's not the case. You have to work with the community if you want your project to succeed.
Okay. Now, apart, I mean, have you built schools? Have you innovated?
Absolutely.
Have you equipped some of the schools you
Absolutely.
built?
Yes, we have. We have, given people all sorts of tools to build furniture. We've actually constructed schools. We've constructed maternity clinics. We've re-established the Court Barre in Kamakwe. We've helped re-establish the police station there. We've done many.
And these are tangible things. So why is it that the company is still struggling to win the hearts and minds of the people?
Well, I think it's there are, as I said earlier, there are certain groups there who, because of our presence and the fact that we are working legally and in complete collaboration with the NMA and the EPA and the government in general, they are being pushed out a little, and they don't like that. Now, all we are saying is, look, we are anybody is welcome to come and talk to us about artisanal mining, because it's our company who has to give the authorization for small-scale mining or an endorsement. We're happy to do that, but we want to see responsible artisanal mining.
Do you normally ask them to pay? I mean, the artisanal miners, if they want to, if they need your approval to embark on an artisanal mining, particular area that is under your concession?
Yes, they need our approval to do that, right? So they fill in an application, and the NMA comes to us and say, do you approve this? All right. Now, we are setting up, as I said, these cooperative artisanal programs to get the mining done efficiently, effectively, for the benefit of everybody. If you go out and have a look now, it looks like a series of bombs has hit a swamp. There's just big holes everywhere. The land is useless. And you really must rehabilitate that land. The way the artisanal mining works at the moment, that is not done. So there is, as I said earlier, the ground is no good for agriculture.
What is your company's environmental practice, your environmental strategy?
The environmental strategy is we create nurseries to make sure that we can replant the same species, that were there prior to the mining. We backfill, we rehabilitate, and we work closely with the local communities to make sure that the areas that we have mined are then re-established for proper agriculture, including possible fish farming for protein.
Okay, well, thank you very much. It is Colin Harris, the AMR Gold Director. Mr. Harris, what structures has your company built to resist shocks? Take, for instance, what happened with the African minerals, your financial base.
Well, I was the director of London Mining, the company that mined Maranta, and I've worked in Africa for quite a long time. And your question was, what has our company done to make sure that we to mitigate against shocks like was apparent that happened last year with London Mining and African Minerals? Well, first of all, I think the mining industry, as you might know, is in a pretty bad state at the moment. So the answer is, don't suddenly start a huge mining group, hundreds of millions, that takes years and years to develop before you get any cash flow. I think the way at the moment is to do phased development, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're starting off on relatively small scale, and then we're going to build it up and build it up. And so by that method, you're not creating a huge monster that could suddenly die and then create havoc, like has been had with London Mining and African Minerals. So we have a completely different mindset. We understand the problems with London Mining and African Minerals, and it is our intention not to make that happen by developing small centres or growth poles, as I said earlier, small mining projects which can grow depending on the resource base over time. And that way, I think it's more sustainable and less prone to shock with the demise of the commodity prices in the global markets.
I mean, how important is the commodities that you are mining in the world markets?
It's a very funny commodity, and if you know something about it, please tell me, because it's quite a secretive commodity. Coltan is a combination of tantalum and niobium, and it's a very sort of secretive market. It's very difficult to find out. It's not like copper or zinc. You can get a price on the LME. used a lot in transistors, in
What
mobile
makes it
phones.
secretive?
It's like conflict diamonds, because a lot of it comes from artisanal workers in Africa, a lot of that in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And mining conditions, using young people, children to do mining illicitly are not condoned. So there is some new codes of practice like the Kimberley process for diamonds that are being introduced. But at the moment it's a lot, I'll go behind that shed there and you give me 5 tons of coltan, etc. So at the moment it's not well regulated. But we, there's a thing called cradle to grave, where we can demonstrate that we have mined the coltan from a legal operation. It's a chain of custody. It's been come to the NMA, come to the Ministry of Mines, properly exported, taxes paid, and it goes to a well-regulated
So
consumer.
where do you normally ship it to?
Pardon?
Where do you normally ship your commodities to?
Normally, well, there are a number of major people. We haven't started producing yet, but the major markets are in China, some in America, Australia, and in Europe. So there's a variety of places that we will ship to when we start regular production.
So in the next 3 years, by the time this license expires,
Yes.
what's going to be your key priorities?
Well, we have to make the difference between mining licenses and exploration licenses, okay? In 3 years' time, our explorations, they will expire, but then we can extend for another 2 years, but we must reduce again the area, which is perfectly okay. And what we will do is, as I said earlier, we have a pipeline of 4 to 5 projects, and each of those, hopefully, we will bring on as small-scale mines. Right? So we have a chain or a portfolio or a pipeline of project developments all lined up over the next 3 to 4 years.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, 2 interesting tech stars challenging your corporate social responsibilities. Where last did you go to Kamakwe and Sandra?
I was there yesterday. I came back yesterday afternoon. Yesterday afternoon, yeah.
Thank you very much. Well, that's it. He is Colin Harris, the AMR Gold Director. Well, that's it. Podium is done for today.